Fires away. It's good! Three-pointer for Kobe Bryant! What a shot!
Oh, man. 5-time champion. 2-time NBA Final MVP. 18-time NBA All-Star. A father, a husband, a friend, an inspiration, an absolute legend. I mean, this doesn't even make sense, me even saying this right now, but Kobe Bryant has passed away at the age of 41. Not only has Kobe passed away, but his daughter was in a helicopter crash with him. Man, before I even start this podcast, I just want to say rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, rest in peace to Gigi, which is his daughter. Condolences to the whole family. But I don't even want to focus right now. I don't want this podcast to be nothing about the crash, nothing about looking at what's happened negatively. I want to focus on this man's legacy and this man's story. This man has left something for so many people. This man was like a father to so many people. And this is what this podcast is going to be on today. So if you want to hear about the crash and you want to hear about all those types of details and stories, click off now, because this ain't going to be it. This is going to be a podcast that's going to be honoring somebody that was an absolute inspiration to the masses, not just in the sport of basketball, but in sport as a whole, in life as a whole, as a father as a whole. You know, like some people being brought up without having a father, and this man was a father figure to so many people. This is what this podcast is going to be about today. My name's Lamar Aaron, and this is the MixKult podcast. Come on. I can't even have the energy to even do the introduction right now, because it just doesn't even make sense, me even saying what I'm saying right now. I can't even put into words what people are even feeling across the globe. Like this is another Nipsey Hussle moment, man. This is an icon within culture. I can't even fathom it. Like, for me, I'm just going to start off with me and my personal connection with Kobe Bryant myself. My personal connection to him started when I was young. Obviously, if anybody knows who I am, I played football. Football was my life and football was my thing, but I was always fascinated by other cultures. And I live 4 doors down from someone who I will class right now as my best friend, or if not one of my best friends. And he was heavily into basketball, and I'll never forget. He was like, "Oh my God, have you seen a guy called Kobe Bryant? He's this. Oh my God, he's so sick." And I remember, because we used to go up to the cage, and I used to play football in the cage, and a lot of the time he would be playing basketball, and I'll play basketball with him here and there, but not like how I would be into football. And he was like, "No, look at this video," and he showed me a video of a guy called Kobe Bryant. And I was like, whoa, like this is mad. Like, my man was putting up freeze here, freeze there, like dribbling to the basket, lay up here, dunk like a madness, late night, late minute buzzers. Like, it was just, I just got so infatuated with the game of basketball simply just because of this man, Kobe Bryant. Like, some of the things that this man has done. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. My love for basketball started there. I supported. Remember, I'm from the UK as well, so just bear with me. I supported two teams. I supported the Boston Celtics, and there was a guy, because there was a player called Pierce, and that played for the Boston Celtics at the time. And I also supported the LA Lakers too, simply because of Kobe Bryant. So the fact that I'm sitting here, having a memory of him, and he's only 41, is absolutely crazy. Now, like I said, football has been the main thing, but basketball is another sport I've loved, and basketball is also another sport that I've sat and I've watched and I've put time into, just as a fan, just to celebrate it, just to love it. Like, I may not be a hardcore fan like American fans may be, but for me personally, I'm a fan in my own right and a fan in my own way. And this man was the entry to basketball for me. Then to move on to him doing what he's doing as a father. Like, if anybody knows, if you listen to my previous podcast, you'll know I'm a father of 2 kids myself. I can't even fathom the fact that this little girl is gone as well. Like, the bond that these two had, like that Kobe displayed, what a father should look like. He displayed what a husband should be. And don't get me wrong, we're not inside the household from what we see, but what we know and what we hear of, I mean, this is the inspiration and the example that this man set. This man, if you read into this man's story, he set a goal for himself at the age of 13 years old. He said, "I don't know how I'm gonna do it. All I know is I'm gonna try. Like, I'm gonna try my best to be the best. And my man, for me, no matter what a lot of people say, he's probably the best player, if not one of the best players to ever grace the game of basketball. And he's one of the best human beings to ever grace, one of the best human beings to ever grace life in general. My man was a writer. He was an inspiration. And one thing that I can take personally for me, what I'll take from Kobe Bryant as well, is that it's every year of your life is a chapter. And when you pass away, your legacy is going to live on and your story is going to live on. And I remember listening to a podcast. It was a Joe Rogan podcast, and Kevin Hart was on there. And Kevin Hart was saying something, and Kevin Hart was saying each year of your life is a story, it's a chapter in your book. When life is finished, said and done, and everything's finished, what does your book look like? I can honestly sit here and look at Kobe Bryant right now and say, this man's book is a freaking legendary inspiration to anybody and everybody who walks on this earth. My man, the grit, the determination, the motivation to be the best, to want to do the best, but not only that, do that with humbleness and humility is undoubtedly something that not many people possess in this world. And for me, I just feel like people need to take the time out, forget about the negative side of everything that's just happened, forget about it all. Let's remain at the positive. Let's look at what this man's left behind. Let's look at the legacy of what this man's left behind. As I said, it doesn't make sense me even saying all these words, but for me, I've always been taught, don't mourn someone's life, celebrate someone's life. And I'm sitting here on this podcast today, and I'm going to celebrate this man, Kobe Bryant, because what he's done for just the culture in general, for black people in general, for black people feeling like they can actually be something, can do something for themselves, and not only just, let's leave color out of it, just people in general, for what they can be and what they can do for themselves. The heights that this man's reached, the heights that this man's achieved is crazy. Like I said to you, 5-time champion, 2 times NBA final MVP, freaking 18 times NBA All-Star. The numbers can go on and on and on. This man dedicated his life to the LA Lakers, 20 seasons back to back, straight, one team, the only point guard to ever have done that. This man's made history after history after history. But when you step and you go deep into this man's interviews and you hear this man talk and the things that this man would say, you can see why this man has achieved everything he has achieved. Now, I'm taking the inspiration from this book. I'm going to look at his book and I'm going to say, do you know what does my book look like? When it's all said and done, how are my kids going to remember me? How is the mother of my kids going to remember me? How is my parents, my friends, the people who listened to me over the years, the people who I may have interviewed over the years, the people I've worked with? What does my book look like when it's all said and done? What does your book like when it's all said and done? Honestly, guys, this is the most important thing. And also, don't ever celebrate somebody's life when they're gone. Celebrate their life when they're alive. For me, like I said to you, I used to watch this man's videos in and out, in and out. Simply just because I weren't trying to be a basketball player, but what I was trying to do is find that inner motivation within myself. So I'm trying to dedicate myself to something. I'm trying to make sure that I master this presenting, podcasting, whatever it is. You guys need to look at yourself in the mirror like this man did and ask yourself, how are you going to master what you are doing? What type of person do you want to be? When it's all said and done, what does your book look like? This is what this man has done for so many people. The whole of the internet can't even believe it, because imagine just being one person from a country like America and you've touched millions and billions of people in a way without even physically touching them, but with the actions that you've done. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what your book should look like. Now, the fact that this man's also lost his daughter in the process is what I can't. Like I said, I have 2 kids. I can't fathom losing a child. I can't fathom. So the same way that I'm going to say with Kobe Bryant, we're going to celebrate his life, we're going to celebrate his daughter's life too. This girl was well on her way to doing what she wanted to do. And she did it with a smile. She did everything with a smile. The bond of a father and a daughter is so important. Fathers out there, man, make sure that you are bonding with your kids. Parents in general, make sure you are there with your kids. It's so important. So important to what legacy you leave behind. What you do now is setting up what's to come when you're gone. Is your children going to remember you in the right ways? Are you going to be the right parent in the right ways, the right person in the right ways, the people that you touch in your life? What does your book look like? What does your book look like? So many NBA players that are playing right now can honestly sit there and say that this man is the reason why they watched basketball, started to play basketball. They all wanted to be this man. Now they're well on their way to be the same for somebody else. Somebody else is sitting there looking at Jason Tatum, and they're looking at him saying, "I want to be him." Someone's looking at Steph Curry saying, "I want to be him." What are you guys doing? Kobe Bryant's daughter did that. She sat there and said, "I want to be like my father, and I'm going to dedicate and put time into everything that I'm going to do. This is a sport I love, and this is the sport I want to do, and I'm going to give 1,010%." Never complained once. Fathers, man, please, please, please be there for your kids. I can't express this enough. This podcast today for me is, like I said, celebrating this man's life. But most importantly, I want you guys to have that same feeling that when everybody goes, what does your book like? What are you putting in place? Let everybody celebrate you. This podcast is going to be very, very short, as I said, because I can't even sit here and talk for so long about how my brain's even processing this thing. I can't, cause like I said, my brain is processing it. This man has got me in a head state, in a headspace to say, do you know what? This I get one life, and this life can either be long or it can be short. But I'm gonna make sure that when I'm living it, I'm gonna give my all to everything and anything that I do. Remember, 5-time champion, 2 times NBA Final MVP, 18 times NBA All-Star, a father, a husband, a friend, an inspiration, a legend. Remember, guys, it's not about where you start, it's about how you finish.
You worked day and night, every day, for years and years and years and years and years. And as time went on, 20 years had passed, and he felt that he had accomplished all that he set out to accomplish. But what he come to realize is that the goal that he set out initially of becoming the greatest of all time was a very fickle one. And what he realized that the most important thing in life is how your career moves and touches those around you, and how it carries forward to the next generation.